Welcome to the Joy Prescription Podcast. Here you will learn the keys to build stress resilience and create a life of vibrant health. We are here to help you prevent and reverse chronic disease so that you can live your life to the fullest and walk in your God-given purpose. We're your hosts. I'm Dr. Cynthia Libert.
And I'm Brooke Jack.
Now let's get started.
Welcome to the Joy Prescription Podcast, everyone. We're glad you're here. Today we have an exciting episode topic. I'm going to be interviewing my co-host, Dr. Cindy, about her 5 non-negotiable daily health habits. Very intriguing, I know. So let's dive in. Hey, Cindy.
Hi, Brooke. Good to see you today. I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Awesome. Doing well. I can't wait to hear what is on your list of non-negotiables for your health habits. So I would love to know first, what inspired you to make a non-negotiables list for your health habits?
Yeah, well, it is my attempt to walk the walk. I've been in the natural health world for well over a decade now, been a physician for 20 years, and I am just every day trying to show up and live my life in a way that is authentic and lead by example, not only for my patients, but also for my family, my 3 daughters, and take care of myself so I can be strong and be there for other people. And I have to give special credit to my own health coach. I've started working with a health coach just to get the benefits of that accountability and support and structure. And she actually gave me this idea of creating a list of 5 things that I commit to, that I do every day. And it's kind of morphed and evolved. First started with very specific things like, I'm going to take my supplements, my nutritional supplements every day, and tying that to, a certain time of the day, like dinner time. And it has evolved into more principles now that I'm living my life by.
That is awesome. I know I'm inspired to begin my own list. And I love that it's a way, like what you're describing, to help kind of prioritize some things and keep top of mind to get just ingrained in your lifestyle so that you can reap the benefits of it. So, yeah.
Wonderful. And that's really the key word, is lifestyle, because health happens through these little tiny changes and decisions that we make every day. And so that's a freeing thing to think about. We don't have to be perfect. We just have to keep moving in the direction where we want to go. And if we fall off the bandwagon, we can just jump right back on and with the next choice. The next day.
Yeah.
Or the next moment, actually.
That's true. That is true. I love it. Well, let's get started. What is your first non-negotiable?
Okay. So the first one is eat whole foods. I know it's not a revelation. There's so many people just beating that drum that we as a whole society need to get back to nature, get back to eating close to the earth, things that grow on trees and plants and that you can pluck from the ground, or organic and humanely raised animal products. All of those things we've just kind of gotten away from. And as Michael Pollan says, we're starting to eat mostly edible food-like substances. Edible food-like substances.
Edible food-like substances.
Yes.
Yeah.
So edible food-like substances. Those are the packages, boxes, bags that tend to be in the center aisles of the grocery store. Okay. As opposed to the perimeter where we're able to get fresh produce, dairy, meat,
Yeah.
sort of things that are actually real whole foods. So one of my mentors from the Institute for Functional Medicine, he had a beautiful saying, let your food be your medicine, which of course Hippocrates originally said that, but he goes on, let your kitchen be your pharmacy and let your lifestyle be your physician, which I just think is so beautiful. And it's empowering to all of us that, what we put at the end of our fork is actually some of the most potent medicine that we can bring to our bodies, especially when we're doing it day in and day out, making these healthy choices with the whole foods, mainly plant-based foods that have lots of fiber and all the beautiful colors of rainbow. You've got your phytonutrients in each bite that helps to bathe your DNA in these lovely healing compounds that actually promote health. They can turn off genes that can lead to cancer. They can upregulate genes that suppress cancer. Wow. They help with oxidative stress, which can prematurely age us. They help our detoxification systems. We could just go on and on. Virtually every chronic disease can be improved and helped through good nutrition.
That is amazing. I love that. I'm thinking my Snicker bar falls in the edible food-like substance category.
Yes. But they do such a good job with the advertising.
It's true.
Snickers satisfies you. And I remember years when I was young, Snickers bars were a kind of a staple when you're, in between meals and you're hangry and you just want to get something quick.
Yeah.
But thankfully, I have broken that habit for some time now.
How do you break free from those addictive substances and begin that transition to a whole foods diet?
Yeah, well, actually, the answer is one baby step at a time. And of course, it can be helpful to do kind of a reboot where you just cut out all sugar and processed foods, do that for a week, and your body may go through a little adjustment period. You might, have some symptoms because, they're addictive. But after about a week or so, people, and myself included, I've noticed that you have less of a cravings for these compounds. And so, cutting it out is the first step, but you can do this with baby steps. You don't have to do it all at once. You can just start, committing to one little goal of like, I'm going to have a serving of vegetables with every lunch, and just work on that one little thing.
Yeah.
And then layer something else on and you try a new recipe. So it's just a baby step process.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that's encouraging because a lot of people, I think in their mind, when they think about shifting their lifestyle with their diet, it's almost like it's an all or nothing thing. Like I've got to totally change everything all at once. And immediately you think, and I'm not going to like it.
Yeah, exactly.
But then like you're saying, just focusing on one thing, mastering that, getting that to feel comfortable and part of the normal thing, and then adding on another layer and just going step by step makes it a whole lot easier to embrace.
Exactly. Well, all or nothing thinking, that is definitely a trap that we can fall into. We've talked about that before, being a brain ant. And in diet, that can really, really derail us. It's like, well, I had a cookie, I'm going to just have the whole bag kind of thing.
Right.
Or I messed up my new eating plan, so I'm just going to quit kind of thing. And so I just encourage you, don't fall prey to that all or
Yeah.
nothing thinking. Just give yourself grace. That's been a big lesson that I've learned
Yeah.
in shifting into more of a lifestyle medicine practice, is that, I'm not perfect. I have a processed food every once in a while. And,
Mhm.
I have to give myself grace. We can just do the best we can with the resources we have, with the time pressures and challenges we have. And
Yeah.
when we fall short of where we want to be, just saying, that's okay. I'm going to take steps to try better next time.
Yeah. Now, when we were together recently and got to have like brunch together, I
Mhm.
noticed you had a little baggie of chopped vegetables in your car for
I
having a
did.
handy snack. And I thought that was so wise because I find myself in snacky mood when I am driving in the car.
Mhm, mhm.
So, yeah. So you have that system with your girls, right? Of having some snack bags handy.
I do. I do. It's been one of the big accomplishments. I feel like a proud mama that I've been able
Mhm.
to implement chopped veggie bags into our lifestyle, and it's really effective. I try to do at least one, but if not two a day, and
Mhm.
I'll just take it, and if I'm feeling, maybe some emotional eating
Yeah.
impulses coming on, I'll just eat the vegetables, and they're crunchy, they're filling, and they might not be the same as like a macaroni and cheese or ice
Right.
cream or something like that, but your brain senses that stretching in your stomach from the vegetables and the fiber, and it turns off your hunger signal. So
Mm.
not only am I getting the benefits of all the phytonutrients and the fiber in the plant material, it's also helping to kind of crowd out other things that you might grab on the go if you're hungry. So really encourage my patients, just commit to one day a week, setting
Mm.
aside time to chop up veggies and put them in little bags or containers and just have them for on the go. And
Yeah.
it's been a positive thing. Our girls are involved in lots of sports, and it's kind of a
Yes.
hectic lifestyle, but I've gotten into the habit of packing little coolers with ice packs, and just putting bags of chopped veggies. And we also do berry bags, raspberries,
Mhm.
blueberries, strawberries,
Mm.
whatever is in season, organic and available. We'll put those in there too. And it's been really helpful to get more plant material into the family.
That's awesome. I already have a takeaway for today. I'm gonna start doing
Yeah.
some berry bags and veggie bags. We just got our kids'
Nice.
baseball and softball game schedules yesterday. So we know what we're looking at, and we're gonna need our
Hmm.
coolers and ice packs and veggie bags ready to go for
Yeah.
these afternoons and late nights ahead. So
Hmm. Yeah. And
wonderful.
another thing we've done kind of on a regular basis is saute some chicken breast with like
Mm.
herbs and olive oil and chop them up into little cubes and just store it in a container in the refrigerator. That way, if you have to run somewhere and you need a quick little wrap, you can do an organic flour tortilla, put some chicken chunks on there, a little
Some
bit of
pesto, maybe.
pesto, yeah, guacamole, maybe a little cheese, and that's a relatively healthy whole foods meal that you can take on
Yeah.
the go that doesn't take a lot of prep time.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the barriers to eating a whole foods diet is the prep and feeling like you don't
Mhm.
have time to prepare all of the things. But like you're saying, if you can spend a day or an afternoon just prepping and getting things ready, then you're just setting yourself up for success, where it's just as easy to grab the cube chicken and make a wrap as it would be to heat up a microwave mac and cheese bowl or
Yeah.
rice packet or something. Yeah.
Very good. Yep. And
Mhm.
we've got recipes on the website at caringforthebody.org. You can go under, I believe it says resources section, and just look under there. We've got some free recipes for people, and we talk about food a lot within the clinical practice and our lifestyle medicine programs for sure. So food is one of our biggest interventions in my medical practice.
Yes, there are some yummy recipes on there. Definitely check them out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what's next on your non-negotiable list?
Yeah. Well, number 2 is to prioritize sleep.
Oh, man.
And I'm showing up today authentically, letting you know that I do my best with this one. And I'm actually proud of my commitment to try to get at the very minimal 7 hours of sleep. And almost every night I achieve that goal. There are some times here and there when something gets derailed, but many times I get 8 hours or more, and I think that's probably even a better goal. And so, once we get settled into this new school year schedule, there's lots of transitions that happen, especially in the life of a mom and business owner, and just really all of us in the modern world. We have a lot of demands on us, and
that's true.
The statistics around sleep deprivation are pretty staggering. I pulled some stats here from the American Sleep Association. Nearly 70 million Americans have a sleep disorder. Insomnia is the most common sleep disorder, with 30% of adults experiencing short-term insomnia. I would say that probably that's an underestimate. Because the vast majority of my patients will share that they're struggling with insomnia periodically, at least. 10% of people we know have long-lasting insomnia, and that's totally detrimental to our health, our brain health, our mood, our mental health, our functioning during the day at work and in sports. It can have really negative impact, not getting enough sleep. 40% of people report accidentally falling asleep during the day. That is definitely a clue.
Yes.
If you're falling asleep at your desk or in the car, God forbid, that is a sign you are in need of more sleep.
Yes.
Or more better quality sleep. And 5% of people report falling asleep while driving.
Wow.
Actually, that happened to my mom when she was alive, and thank God nobody was hurt. But it can be catastrophic to do that. And we know that sleep is when the body repairs itself. It helps to, clear out the metabolic waste from our brains, which is a good thing.
Yes.
Even 30 minutes of sleep deprivation in one single night can increase inflammation in the body. And I'm sure you know that when we don't get enough sleep, we tend to have less willpower, and we are much more vulnerable to reach for, quote, comfort foods and go off our healthy lifestyle programs. So it's a good thing to put on the priority list. And there's many steps which I've worked on over the years trying to get here, which first of all, I have committed to 10 o'clock being this drop dead time where I'm going to be in bed. It doesn't always work out. I've got some teenagers and they tend to be more night owls just biologically, and they have needs, emotional needs and things that take priority over sleep. So it's not perfect, but just setting a bedtime for yourself is a really reasonable thing to do, and thinking ahead, when do I have to get up, and then counting backwards to try to give yourself, I'd say, at least an hour extra in bed. So if you want to get 8 hours of sleep, I would have 9 hours in bed. And I wouldn't have known that, for me, without having like a sleep tracker. I use an Oura ring, and I fall asleep really quickly. My sleep latency is really nice. Like 5 minutes, I'm out. And so it's not that there's, a lot of time laying or tossing around, but still, usually my amount of sleep that I get is, at least a half an hour or sometimes an hour less than the time I was in bed. And I had no idea that was the case until I started tracking my sleep. So I just encourage you to either track your sleep or give yourself that extra buffer there. It can't hurt.
That's right.
That a little bit longer. And there's all sorts of sleep hygiene recommendations out there. We've all probably heard of them, just trying to create a sleep sanctuary for yourself, making sure the room is nice and cool. And that has definitely become of utmost importance now that I'm in my mid-40s and having some inklings about perimenopause symptoms, feeling hotter. Alcohol can completely disrupt our sleep architecture. And so I avoid alcohol for many reasons, but mainly for my health, to sleep better and to avoid triggering hot flashes, which it's done in the past. There's also herbs and nutrients that I use periodically. I'm drinking my chamomile lavender tea this morning.
Ooh, that's one of my favorites.
But that one is particularly helpful for evening time, just calming the body for sleep. Magnesium is also a very calming mineral that can help with sleep, relax the muscles, also helps, bowel regularity and with anxiety and headaches and all sorts of things. So magnesium is a nice evening time supplement. And I've used a lot of adaptogens as well. Those are herbs that help the body modulate the effects of chronic stress. So holy basil, ashwagandha, rhodiola, those sort of things. It can be nice for bedtime and help us ease into sleep. And, the electronics, that's always a tough topic, especially, goodness, for my children. It's, we're all addicted to our devices, to our phones and TVs and computers. It's just pretty ubiquitous in our modern life. If you've managed to escape that, good for you. But we know that exposure to that blue light from computers and screens, even within 4 hours of bedtime, can disrupt our circadian rhythms. Can disrupt the secretion of melatonin from our pineal gland. And that is detrimental for our rhythms and the quality of sleep that we get. So I really encourage you to rethink how you're interacting with your electronics in the evening time. I'm still a work in progress in that. It's like we have 24/7 access to lots of stimulation and work and productive things. And it's just good to set boundaries for yourself. So in social media, many of us fall into that trap of, just kind of the mindless scrolling and checking in, just kind of being entertained in that way. And it does no good for us.
Yeah.
It leads to so many issues. So I just encourage you to limit your time, especially in the evenings, with that social media scrolling.
That's so wise.
From what I have many patients that struggle with insomnia. A lot of patients in their 50s and 60s tell me that it's their cats or little dogs.
Those fur babies
interfere. Yes, our four-legged friends in the bedroom can significantly interfere with our sleep. And I have a little doggy too, Charlie. He struggles with his ears and they're itchy, and he'll shake his head, and we try to get him help for that, but it's an ongoing battle. And I just finally had to put him out of the bedroom And it was an adjustment for both of us, but I'm sleeping much better with Charlie now out of the bedroom.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've had to do that with our cat too. He was habitually waking up at 4:30 and doing the kind of tomcat meows, and we could hear him running across the floor and jumping on the furniture, and he just had all this energy ready to go out and, explore while it was still dark out.
Their natural biorhythms to do that.
Right. Yes. Which is not in sync with mine.
That's right.
You got to go outside at night, kitty.
So, and I realized that sleep it's a sensitive topic for a lot of people because insomnia is it's painful, not to be able to get the rest that you need. And
that's right.
Many people struggle. I have quite a number of patients that have chronic insomnia. And of course, there's a whole checklist that I work through with them to try to troubleshoot that, from hormones to, mental health to physical pain issues and all of that. But sometimes, we lose sleep because we're caregivers, that we have, duties in the middle of the night for a child or loved one,
that's right,
elderly parent or spouse. And, we just have to do the best we can and get support when we can, and take naps to try to help to catch up in a way.
Yes.
So sleep is a huge priority. We're aiming for progress, not perfection. That's my mantra with things, and grace when you fall short of where you want to be.
That's right. Yeah. Until I think I started working with you, I did not realize how essential sleep is for the body and the brain. And so I've been trying to work on our bedtime routine a little bit more with our kids. And I kind of do it in contractor mode, where, when they give you an estimate for building, they give you like that extra 20%, above, so that there's room for surprises. And I figured out with our kids and bedtime routine what we thought we could accomplish in 15 minutes. It's like, no. We need to allow a whole 30, maybe even 45 minutes to the time that we want everybody to be tucked in bed. We need to start the pajamas and the teeth brushing. So that's what we've discovered works for us, is that it just takes us a lot longer to get in bed than we think it does. So we've allowed the extra window of time so we can be more successful in meeting our bedtime.
I think that goes for everything in life. We're trying to accomplish. Margin is just such a beautiful word. And I try to build it in the best I can. With everything, especially with kids, because unexpected things come up, and so building margin into your lifestyle, your healthy lifestyle plans is a good strategy for success. Good for you.
Well, tell us what your number 3 non-negotiable health habit is.
Yes. Okay. So physical fitness, and specifically planning for it, and prioritizing, putting it on the calendar, committing. And for me, I love working out, with groups, and having an accountability partner with physical activity. So I work closely with a physical or a personal trainer, and do Orange Theory Fitness. I do some classes with them on a regular basis, and stretching in the morning, and some exercises that I do in the morning just to get my body going for the day. So, if we could bottle all the health benefits from physical fitness, we could put it in a little capsule. It would be unethical for it not to be prescribed to every single person on the planet, because it just has remarkable potent medicinal impact for us.
Wow.
It improves our longevity. It decreases depression and anxiety. It wards off cancer, diabetes, heart disease. You name it. Has positive benefits. It helps us from putting on extra weight. It helps keep our muscles strong and robust, especially as we're aging and we're trying to fight Mother Nature with the loss of muscle mass as we age.
Yeah.
So it becomes even more critical to do resistance training, strength training as we age, particularly starting in middle age, 30s and 40s and beyond, because that's when we start to lose about a pound of muscle mass every year, unless we're being proactive at putting it on. And our muscles are so key with keeping our bones strong, keeping us from being injured. And, I tell my patients that our muscles are our organ of longevity. So the more we can keep fit and strong, the longer we're going to live. And with the higher quality of life, of course, because the goal is not just to live long, it's to, live a well-lived life with the least amount of physical suffering from disease that we can.
Yes, absolutely. So what does some of your exercise routine look like? What are things that you do to help build muscle and, keep yourself fit?
Yeah, well, I recently got introduced to a personal trainer online. His name is Tim Anderson. He's a really cool guy. I like him. A lot. I haven't met him in person yet, but he's got a lot of free videos, and he's got a set of 21 a set of exercises that you do 21 times in the morning for longevity and flexibility and strength. And so I've been doing that and just really finding it really helpful. So some sort of activity in the morning. I really try to commit to that. And, I had surgery on my spine when I was 17. And so I have to really take care of my back and to keep it loose and flexible and out of pain. So that it's a built-in reminder to do those stretching and exercise in the morning. So that's a pretty routine thing that I do. I work out with a trainer twice a week, and then do some high intensity interval training on my own 2 to 4 times a week. And, we do lots of hiking as a family, and of course, having 3 daughters, young daughters, all still at home. There's a lot of running around and just taking care of everyday life, groceries, and all of that is part of my fitness. So it brings me a lot of joy and a feeling of well-being, and I'm very grateful, that I have the energy to do it. And what I find is the more that I, pay attention to my fitness and do, the more energy I have. And so it's a positive snowball effect. So I really try to encourage people on that, that are suffering with chronic fatigue and feel like they just can't do the exercise. I encourage them to start where you are, if it's just 30 seconds of walking, do that. And, gradually work up over time, and you will find that you'll get more energy as you start to move your body and generate more mitochondria. When we exercise, we actually build mitochondria, the energy producing organelles in our muscles to fuel our activity. So just want to encourage you, if you're feeling stuck there, start where you are. Even a little bit of extra physical activity a day can be extraordinarily beneficial for your health.
And I love that you mentioned having somebody that you work with, or just an accountability partner, or even if it's your husband or your kids, that you mentioned taking some family walks together. I find I enjoy having some kind of companionship and my physical activity. So having my dog, he's a German
Yes.
Shepherd. He's a big boy. He needs time outside. He's like my little motivator for a daily walk because he needs it.
Oh,
And
yes.
I need it, but we get to do it
Love
together.
it.
So I get to walk with him, and same with my husband, when we can, when our schedules sync, grab a walk in together. But yeah, it just makes it more fun to have that companionship where you can.
Yeah, definitely. And occasionally, doing a jog in the woods alone is very restorative
Yes.
and peaceful. So we need our mama time too.
That's right. That's right. All right. Wow. We're already to number 4. So
Yeah.
what is that, Cindy?
Yes. Well, this has been a journey arriving here at the fourth principle, which is to take every thought captive. It's based on a Bible verse that encourages us to do that and basically hold up our thoughts to the light of God and examine it for if it's truth or not. And it's been a journey for me as, I've struggled over the years with some anxiety and mainly it centered around overwork and exhaustion and being tied up in the dysfunctional American conventional medical system. But I've really had to work on restructuring my thoughts and prioritizing thoughts that are constructive and that build me up and that allow me to look at life with optimism and hope and grace and all of those good things. So thoughts are very, very powerful, and we can actually choose what we allow to bounce around in our head. We can't control thoughts that just kind of come in, but over time, we can learn to grab a hold of them and hold them up to the light of truth and to choose to focus on the ones that bring light and love and beauty. So addressing cognitive distortions has been a practice that I've been working on for many years. I first learned about this through Dr. David Burns. He wrote a book, Feeling Good, and it's all about using cognitive behavioral therapy or cognitive restructuring to help with mood disorders instead of medications. And then Dr. Daniel Amen is a famous psychiatrist. I've done some training with him as well, and he coined the term brain ants, automatic negative thoughts. And we've talked about these in previous podcasts, but the black and white thinking, all or nothing, the catastrophizing.
Yes.
You got it. And that it can be totally detrimental to our health in and of itself, and also derail us from healthy lifestyle choices. So Romans 12:2 has been one of my life verses from the Bible. And the Apostle Paul, encourages us to not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. And so my spiritual walk has really profoundly influenced my mental health and just capacity to handle the stress of life. And so I just really want to highlight this particular non-negotiable health habit, which is taking every thought captive and focusing on the things that bring you joy and that lift others up and that help to create health.
I love that. I love that you're bringing that up because, just having the awareness of where our thoughts are and what type of thoughts we're chewing on, that we're meditating on, keeping an awareness of that day to day, and being able to shift that, or make even the connections of feeling low or feeling agitated, and maybe being able to recognize that it's attached to a thought,
Exactly.
that's
Yes.
happening, and then being able to shift that thought. So, I mean, it's just, when we talk about health habits, a lot of people, I think, and myself included, I mean, when we first talked about having, a conversation about this topic, and I immediately started thinking, like, what are my health habits? And a lot of them were, physical body related, and as how the train of thought. But we're not just a body. We've got a soul, we've got a spirit, and so all of that is intertwined and works together. So, like you say, it's a happy brain, healthy body. When our
That's
brain
right.
is happy, when we're having those positive, truthful thoughts, it affects and has an impact on our physical body, and even the design. I mean, how amazing is it that God designed the mitochondria production to be, tied to physical movement and all of that stuff, lifting the mood. I mean, we're so intricately designed to have our mind and body working together. So I'm so glad that you're bringing this up, that, how you think is so directly impacting your physical body and daily experiences. So
absolutely. Thanks for asking about it.
yeah. Well, we have arrived at number 5.
Number 5. Okay.
Yeah. So fill us in.
My 5th non-negotiable health habit is committing to having community and connection with other people. And
so
mercy, the last couple of years and the pandemic has really highlighted that.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew it to begin with, but goodness, we need each other. We carry each other's medicine inside of us. And
that's such a beautiful thought.
It is. Science is really robust in the study of social isolation and just how detrimental that is to our health. And we know that when there's a lot of social support and connection, people can cope with stressful situations better. They, feel less stressed and have less, anxiety and depression, and it helps with their mental health and self-esteem too. We need to be connected for that. When we, hang out with people that are doing healthy behaviors and making good decisions, that can actually influence us and cause us to do the same thing. There's a whole kind of field of medicine that is sociogenomics, meaning that the people that we are around actually influence the expression of our DNA.
Whoa.
And it is deep, very, very deep. So you want to, choose your closest inner circle really well, so you can have positive impact on your health. Of course, it doesn't mean we shouldn't be around negative people or people that are struggling or having challenges. That's part of our what we're called to do in life, is to help others when they're having challenges. But it's important also to surround yourself with a support team where you can have some positive influences for yourself as well, especially if you're in a healing profession or, ministry where you have to meet people where they are. Right. And often, dealing with people with dysfunction. So I'm really so grateful for my support system, my family. I've got amazing friends, and our work team is incredible. I've got this amazing local church. So I'm very, very blessed in this way. And I know that's not the case for everyone. And I hear it often from my patients that they're lonely and isolated, and it's hard to know where to start for them, especially my older patients where, they're just experiencing some losses, either hearing wise or maybe even some cognitive decline, or they're physically tired or hurting, and it's hard to motivate to go out and connect with others. So I have a kind of a cheerleading process that I walk them through to help them examine their life and where they might want to take a leap of faith and try to connect, go into a book club or doing volunteering for some kind of good cause. And thankfully we do have technology where we can connect with people. Even I encourage the use of video conferencing over just simply a phone call. But if that's a barrier, then definitely just reaching out by phone to someone, and you never know, what they might be going through. You might save their life by calling a friend. So we just encourage just little action items to build your support network. And it's good to do that proactively, because we all go through challenges and storms in life. And so it's, you want to kind of nurture the relationships in your life so you can be there for them, and then they can also be there for you when you need it.
That's right.
So, yeah. And that's, of course, part of what we try to do with the Joy Prescription community. Right. We have our monthly soul care groups, and that's just a beautiful time of sharing and connection. It really is. Ministers to me and fills me up.
Me too.
To participate.
Yes.
So those are my five priorities, my non-negotiable health habits.
Well, I love that. I love all those principles, and for you sharing just the details of even how you implement those and how those look in your life. I know that's inspiring me to take a little inventory of my habits and routine, and I'm going to make my own list now. I'm going to start working towards some goals and making sure that I'm nurturing mind, body, and soul in a good way, so I can show up for my family and people that I need to show up for every day, my best self.
That's right.
And to be strong. I want to be strong. I've got active kids, and I want to be able to engage with them with their sports activities, and be able to keep up with all their energy.
Yeah, I love that you're mentioning that. You're making that natural connection between your health habits and what you're living for, what's important to you. And that is the foundation of lifestyle medicine coaching is trying to figure out, draw out of people what it is they're really living for, what brings their life meaning and purpose, and helping them to connect the dots between what you do every day, what you're eating, what thoughts you allow to wander around in your brain, how you're moving your body, your social connections, all of that is connected to our ability to show up for our loved ones, to, enjoy a fulfilling career or volunteerism, and just to have a long, healthy, happy life. And so it's important to look at those positive motivating factors when you're trying to make health changes for yourself, instead of being driven by fear, by, a diagnosis or, lab numbers, which, are important, and we need to pay attention to them and deal with them appropriately. But the place of motivation, we really have to tap deep down into what brings us meaning and purpose in life.
Yeah. So beautifully said. Well, this has been fantastic. Thank you for sharing with us, and thank you, listeners, for being here. And we'd love to hear from you. You can ask us questions. We have an email, thejoyprescription@gmail.com, where you can send us your questions about health topics or anything spirituality related. You can also call our question line at 828-412-0599. We'd love to answer questions related to a topic that is on your mind. So in the meantime, though, we invite you to visit thejoyprescription.com and take your learning further about some of these things that Cindy and I have been talking about today. And the Joy Prescription is our online membership community with a threefold purpose: holistic health education, soul care, and spiritual formation. So it's a whole person, mind, body, soul, and getting care and attention. And our ultimate goal is to deepen our walk with God and awaken to our true identity and purpose in Christ.
Oh, thank you so much, Brooke. I really appreciate everyone being here and listening. And I really do want to encourage you. I'd love to hear your 5 non-negotiable health habits. If you can email those to us at thejoyprescription@gmail.com. Love to hear those, or even call in and leave it on the question line at 828-412-0599. Just would love to interact with you in that way.
Yeah, maybe we can share some of those on another podcast and keep inspiring one another. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sounds great. Well, thank you so much for listening, and just invite you to tune in next week.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.